Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Stag series where I talk Southampton Stags. This episode, I wanted to speak about our division, the teams that are in it, the team that is coming up, and where I expect the Stags to finish. So to begin with, we play in Division 1 Southwest, and it consists of 5 teams. Bournemouth Bobcats, Bath Killer Bees, the Bristol Barracuda, us, and the now promoted team, Plymouth Blitz. So I'm going to go through the teams, kind of my brief history with them, what I think they're good at, and then we'll speak about kind of our season and what I hope to kind of achieve with the season and where I hope to finish. So starting off, I'm going to start with the team that got promoted, and that's the Plymouth Blitz. So I played Plymouth, I think, in my first year in 2018. Winter 2018, I played Plymouth, and that was the year they got relegated. I want to say they didn't win a game, but we went to Plymouth, which is very far, and we did get a good win. I had a good game. It was my first couple games playing, and then I believe they came to our house as well, and we beat them. So yeah, I mean, the thing with Division 2 in this country is they have a playoff structure, but how you get promoted in Division 2 is you pretty much have to go undefeated. So there'll be more teams in that second tier, and the team that finishes at the top, which usually means undefeated, and usually means they've played all of their games. Because you do have, since you have smaller teams, sometimes you do have trouble fielding teams. You might have trouble playing games because their fields aren't that great. So they went 8-0, and we honestly don't know which Plymouth we're going to get, because Plymouth used to be a big club around Uniball, and then they kind of fell off a little bit. So we don't know which Plymouth we're going to get. I mean, when you look at the team that actually got relegated last year, the Swansea Titans, they had a decent Div 2 campaign, and then they came up and we beat them pretty badly. So I don't know what to expect with Plymouth, to be honest, but it's gonna be fun playing them. And I think that's the joy of playing a team that you don't know. Our film is from 7 years ago, so we might have to get some better film. But they're a wild card. We don't know what we're gonna get from them. So I think that's gonna be fun as far as coaching against them. Next up, we have the Bath Killer Bees. Now, Bath last year finished in our division above us. So Southampton last year finished 3-5. Bath finished 4-4. Bristol finished 5-3, and the Bournemouth Bobcats finished undefeated 8-0. So Bath were a mixed team. So Bath have always been, to me, very defensively sound. They're usually very defensively solid. And when it comes to their offense, they're very hit or miss. Now, the last couple years, Bath have been very one-sided. They've had a really good running back called Lewis Munt, and they hand it to him. That's pretty much their whole offense. They might pop a couple passes in there, but it was usually just give it to Munt and move out the way. Make a hole for him. I mean, he's very good. I think he plays for the GB team as well. So, I don't know if he's left, but I know that last year our defense did a good job of adjusting to him. I don't think he was the Lewis Munt from the year before, but I mean, we did a good job in kind of stopping him. So, but Bath have always been a team that they'll play us once, but there's always an issue with the second game. There's always an issue with the second game. I can't remember a time where we've played Bath twice and just that's been that. I think my first couple years they canceled our game because their pitch was waterlogged, and their pitch used to be on a slant, and it's just Bath are a university, crazy enough that they have a very nice sports program. They just don't give any money to the American football, it seems. Because you walk into their facility, and they've got this beautiful gym, and they've got a catwalk, and then you see the gym like below the catwalk. Their dressing rooms are nice, but then you go to the field, and you walk out to the field, and they've got this Olympic size, well, not Olympic size, but they got this actual American football field, AstroTurf, And you look at it, it's like, oh, it's nice. This could definitely be used as a field. And you walk past that, and you get to this slanted field all the way in the back next to the fake ski slopes, and that's Bath pitch. But I think they have upgraded this year, so if they have upgraded to 3G, it'd definitely be helpful, because playing against Bath, when I played against them, once their field gets wet, it's a mud bowl. It's very hard playing, and then when with our offense, when you kind of try to throw the ball, your receivers are running in quicksand. Like, it throws your timing off. So, which suits them, because they don't have to throw the ball. They literally just hand the ball, and if he can get a couple steps, this guy's fast enough to it's almost like he's running on top of the mud. So that's how it's been. But I think that this year we'll get the better of Bath. I think a couple of Bath guys have graduated, and we are a young team, so I think we will get Bath. Next team is Bristol. Bristol I don't know how to describe Bristol. They're like us, to be honest. Bristol are just a tough team to play. They will hit you hard. They play on 3G just like we do. They are a never give up team. And I think last year I had my worst game probably as a coach, as a coordinator, definitely as an assistant. I called that game last year, and it wasn't so much that I was calling bad plays. It just seemed like I would call a good play. It was raining. It was during a storm. I'd call a good play, and we would get 10 yards. I'd call another good play. We would fumble the ball. I was like, and it just kept raining. The ball kept slipping out. We threw a couple picks. And that was the game that I look back at now, and we definitely could have won that game. If we had made less mistakes, maybe, held on to the ball. It's just one of those games where everything that could go wrong did go wrong. And they're a very mid team. They finished 4-4. So, we can get the best of them. But yeah, they're just a tough team to play. They always play us tough. When they come to wide lane, they play hard, they play aggressive, and they've definitely got a system that works for them. They could break open and run. Bristol always I would kind of describe it like in football terms, like in footy terms, like parking the bus. That's how they play the game. They grind it out, and then when you least expect it, they'll hit you for a touchdown. You just be like, how did this happen? And it's not something that you don't know is coming. Like, you don't know it. You know what they do. We've watched film, and somehow when it's 0-0, when it's, when you're 4th down, 3rd down, you're going for it, they just get this play that happens, and that's what they do. They get the lead, and then they don't relinquish it. So yeah, I think that would be a tough one. I can't wait to go back to Bristol, because I just want to beat them again. I think we will get the best of Bristol at least once this year. I think we can do twice, but I think Bristol always play us hard. They always play us tough. So I think we split with Bristol. With Bath, I think we can get 2 wins against Bath if we play our game. And then last but not leastly, the team that has been a thorn in my side for the past 2 or 3 seasons, the Bournemouth Bobcats. Bournemouth are a team that are very dominant in our division. They've won a division, I think, was it 2 or 3 times? The team that dominated before them were Exeter. Exeter moved up to the Prem. So yeah, Bournemouth have taken over. And Bournemouth from a coaching standpoint, they don't do anything exciting. They're not the most exciting team. But what Bournemouth are, they remind me of kind of that Tom Brady Patriots, where they do kind of the same thing, but you can't stop what they're doing. They've got good quarterbacks. They have this like 6'5" tight end wide receiver, and I don't think we have any guys on our team that are 6'5". And yeah, they kind of do like Bristol do. They pound you, except the fact that Bournemouth are just so well versed. So their coach is an experienced guy, Steve Rains. He also coaches the adult Bournemouth Bobcats. And every year we know exactly what Bournemouth is going to do. It's not like they come out and they do anything different. We know what they're going to do. We know their game plan. And for some reason, you just can't stop it. Like, you can't stop their game plan. We know which way they're running. We know how they're running. We know who they're going to try to get the ball to. And they just demolish you, right? They just pound. And you're just like, it's hard to see. And last year, my welcome to calling a game moment was the Bournemouth game. The Bournemouth game was my first one. And I'm not going to lie, that was terrible. I was calling players on the wrong side. And that was my first time calling players. I put my hands up. And I think that's probably why our head coach let me call plays, because he was like, yeah, we're getting demolished. Because our preseason was kind of late, and we didn't know who we were going to have and how good they were going to be. And as I said in the other videos, we're teaching guys how to play football from nothing. So last year, my offense was very raw. They were rookies, and it's kind of teaching a lot of them how to play a game. And that's not the game that you want the first game of the season. Like, the first game of the season last year, I would have been Swansea. They were just coming up. You kind of see how you're doing. You're seeing what you're coming up against. And we got Bournemouth early, and yeah, let's just say they scored a lot and we scored nothing. It was diabolical. But I learned that you have to, when you call in plays, you have to have that next play ready. But Bournemouth, their defense, as a defensive guy, their defense ain't special either. They get after the ball, their ends get after you. But our offensive line was mostly rookies, and we had a guy out, and I just remember calling the guy revolving door, because when you look on film, he was just running in circles. It was a tough game, to be honest. But do I expect us to beat Bournemouth? I got to go with my head and my heart. My head's telling me no chance. My heart's telling me, yeah, I think we can get one off of them. And that's how I'm always coached. I'm always coached like, I think we can take one off of them. Now, they play on 3G now as well. And I think when you think about kind of Brit Bowl, we play in the winter. And if you've ever been to the UK, you know that it just rains. And when you play on grass and it rains, it just turns into mud. And it's really hard to get your offense going. They play on 3G, which I thought would give us, I wouldn't say an advantage because they play on it too. I thought it would give us kind of equal footing, but it just made them faster. Like, their wide receivers were faster. Their running backs were faster. It was one of the few games where I stood there and I was like, I don't know what else I can call. I don't know what else I can call to right the ship. It was tough. That was a welcome to coordinating moment with Bournemouth. So I know a lot of the Bournemouth guys. They're a good team. They're a group of good guys. But I just want to beat them, man. It's the same thing with Exeter. I think Bournemouth and Exeter are very similar because Exeter they just continue to do the same thing, and they just couldn't beat us. And I think, not to make an excuse, but we're not a sports uni. We share Southampton with the sports uni. So the sports university is Solent. They're in Division 2, as I said in the last video. So we don't have like athletes. We have, for lack of a better term, we have nerds who can play sports. That's what we have. We have engineers, we have doctors, we have that. Whereas you have Bournemouth, you have guys on sports degrees. You got guys who are studying physical ed and stuff like that, and sports sciences, and those guys are athletes. And they also have guys who, played in the Bournemouth Bobcat setup. They have guys who may be played for Solent Seahawks or Poole Dolphins, and they're playing for them. And we don't see a lot of guys. Like, we have guys who did play for the Seahawks, but we don't see a lot of guys at Southampton. Not as much as probably that goes to Solent, to be honest, or Portsmouth. So it's tough sledding when you're playing a team of athletes. And I think that the thing for me, as the offensive coordinator is I've got to figure out how to get the best of the guys that I have. And I think that's something that me and the head coach are going to work on, getting the best out of the guys we have. Because we don't have the biggest guys. We don't have the fastest guys. But I think we have guys who can compete. And I think last year we were just getting guys to understand that they can play the game. They can compete. And now that group that were rookies, that group that got blown out by Bournemouth twice, they're a little bit older. They played summer ball. They've gotten in the gym. They've looked at film. So now we're going in the second year with these guys offensively, and I'm hoping to maybe shock some people. I definitely want to beat Plymouth. I don't want to lose to Plymouth. I want to beat Bath, so I want 4 wins from Plymouth and Bath. And then when it comes to Bristol, I think we're going to drop one. We always drop one. But if I can split Bristol and Bournemouth, and I can get to 6 wins, I'll take that. I'm really aiming for 5, though. That's what I'm aiming for. We finished 3-5 last year, and I'm aiming to get some dubs against those guys. I'm looking at the fixtures from last year to see if they pull up just some of the scores that we had from last year. So, yeah, for week 1, Bournemouth was 40-0. The second week, we played Swansea 6-0. And that was mostly because I think our coordinators were out and our offensive line coach took over that game. So us getting 6 was great. And then, like I said, last year we played Bristol at home and we beat them 16-7. And I think that's the thing. Like, we beat Bristol, we split with them, and then we had a week off, and then we played Bristol again, and that was a 7-0. And that 7-0 was exactly what I was talking about. So 7-0, we played a game. I think that was the same game I'm talking about, and we got to like the 5-yard line, and I'm like, we got this. And the thing with Bristol, as I said before, is if they get the lead, they are going to wear you down. If we get the lead, I think it's a lot harder for them to come back. So that's in the first game. That's what we did. We got the lead. We didn't look back. In the second game, they had the lead, and we couldn't break them open. And I think that's just me as an offensive coordinator learning. The next week we beat Swansea 14-0, and then post Christmas, because it's broken up. Usually you have the Christmas break, and then we came out of the gates against Christmas, and we got beat by Bournemouth 53-0. And it was not a proud moment. I don't remember because my brain is gone. Just because I'm pretty sure we got battered. The next week we played Bath. And we lost that game 17-16. And it was a tough one because I think we could have won that game. I think that we called a good game, and it just so happened that, that one play went against us and we just couldn't get over it. So, close victory. And then we got a 1-0. The last game was a 1-0 walkover to Bath. And as I said, there's always a reason why we don't play Bath the second game. And because they were the home team, I believe, and we had to cancel or something like that, they ended up getting a 1-0 walkover, so we went 3-5. So realistically, we probably should have finished 4-4 last season. But this season, I'm hoping, as I said, I'm hoping to be better. This season, I'm hoping for 5 wins. I want to beat Bristol twice. As I said, they usually get one on us like they did, but I kind of want to beat Bristol twice. But I definitely expect to beat Bath twice. I definitely expect to beat Plymouth twice. And then, yeah, it's down to Bristol and Bournemouth. I want to get one off Bournemouth. I won't lie to you. I want to get one off Bournemouth. So that's my thing for this year. So that's my hope for this year. A 5-win season. And in the next videos, I'm kind of going to talk about what I think we can do, what we have in the team. We've set up WhatsApp groups now. So we're in the preseason. And we've set up WhatsApp groups. We're talking about, coming back, sending some guys some motivational videos for the season. And I think maybe in the next couple weeks, when you get closer to August, that's when you start figuring out, what we're going to do. We don't know what we're going to have until we actually get there. But as a coaching staff, what we'll do is we'll get together and, we want to win those 3 games. What can we do to win those 3 games? What will we do to put those games together? To put together the best team that we can with what we know that we have. And then hopefully when we recruit, we can get some guys to augment what we have and improve what we have. But 5 games is what we're going for. And yeah, so I'm hoping for a good season. So thank you guys for listening to the Stag series. And hopefully next time we come back, we would have had that discussion. And I'll kind of speak about what we expect to have and what we expect to run this year. So thank you guys for listening. And I'll see you guys later.